Alright y'all, I just want to go vlog mode for a second here, right before I get editing to this video. This video did end up being a bit longer than I wanted it to be, and I'm sorry for that. I don't like making these types of really long videos, and yeah, so for that reason, I'm going to be putting some timestamps in the description for each and every team, just so that you can pick and choose what guys you want to see or what teams you want to see, and yeah, you can skip through all the analysis if you really want. Doesn't matter to me. But yeah, again, I ended up being a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm just going to throw in some timestamps to help you guys out as you navigate throughout the video and see what you want to see. So thank you for watching. Alright y'all, so for today's video, we're taking a break from the past couple recent videos where I go by a specific team and talk about what they've done this off season, and I figured that I would take a break and do a video where I talk about every team. Specifically, in this one, I'm going to be targeting one player from each and every team that I am very excited to watch for this upcoming season, whether it be because I think they're going to take a leap and potentially be in the MVP discussion, or if they're simply just a role player who's going to be having a bigger role for the team in this upcoming year. Either way, these are just a bunch of guys that I am going to definitely be watching as the season unfolds, and I just wanted to let you guys in on a few names. And before we actually get into the video, I just wanted to get a few groundskeeping tidbits in there. Video production recently has been a bit less frequent than usual, and it will continue to be for about the next week or so, and that's because I'm currently in the midst of finals week and my semester at college, and my last final, at least the last final that I'm going to be turning in, is due next Tuesday on December 8th, so hopefully once we get past that, I'll get back to getting a bit more productive on the channel. And outside of that, we do have fresh shave, fresh haircut Coco back in the videos. So I literally just got this haircut 3 hours ago, so go easy in the comments. It usually takes me a few days to get acclimated to the new haircuts, so I guess without further ado, let's hop into my favorite players for this upcoming season. Starting with the Atlanta Hawks, recently acquired Bogdan Bogdanovic is my player to watch for them for this upcoming season. I think he's going to be a great fit for this team. Not necessarily the perfect fit, but I think he'll be a great one. In the offensive side of the ball, he's going to be able to help Trae Young as a secondary shot creator and just, playmaker, whereas the ball won't have to be in Trae Young's hands 90% of the time. Bogdan could take some responsibilities from him. Not only is Bogdanovic great in the pick and roll as the ball handler, but he's also capable of being a spot-up shooter when Trae Young does normally have the ball in his hands. Now, the issue with Bogdanovic is his defense, where he isn't exactly an above-average defender. He's not terrible, but he's not going to be able to make up for especially Trae Young's lack of defense. So overall, the backcourt is going to be Swiss cheese on the defensive side of the ball, but that's another reason why the Hawks went out and got guys like Rajon Rondo and Chris Dunn to help out in that area. For the Boston Celtics, I'm going with Jason Tatum. Although this one's a bit more obvious, I think Tatum could easily make a leap and enter the MVP discussion. I remember back in for a month of January, I want to say it was, of this past season, he was having historic nights, putting up career highs. It felt like every other game, and at that point in the season, he was getting some MVP talks, not a whole lot, but some. And I think that another healthy offseason where he can develop and grow even a bit more. He's going into, I believe this is his 4th season, and I think it's time for him to start entering the MVP discussions for real. So I hope he gets to make that leap. Brooklyn Nets, I got Kevin Durant as my player to watch. I recently, just a few nights ago, was looking back on some old Kevin Durant highlights back from his times in OKC and even a few in Golden State, and it just got me so pumped up and excited for his return to the court. I've been missing the NBA, or at least missing Kevin Durant for this past season, and he's just such a fluid scorer. To be honest, I doubt we're going to get the same Kevin Durant after an Achilles injury, but I think we're still going to get a pretty gosh darn good one. One that could probably still put up 30 points a night if he really wanted to. He just makes it look so effortless. I can't wait for him to be back on my TV. For the Charlotte Hornets, we have our first rookie making the list, and that is LaMelo Ball. there's not too much else on this Hornets team as of now. They do have a very solid roster, but just no one that's really exciting or makes the type of plays that LaMelo Ball does. And while there will definitely be ups and downs during his rookie season, especially with LaMelo, he'll probably have one of the more volatile roller coasters of the rookies this year. I think he's going to have some plays that are just flat out amazing to watch, and he's going to be fun to watch, and he's going to bring in the numbers, bring in the viewers, all that good stuff, and he's going to be exciting. Moving on to the Chicago Bulls, I'm going with Wendell Carter. And, a lot of people might question this one, but for the Bulls, they brought in Billy Donovan to be their new head coach. I think this is a great signing, and he's already made it clear that he wants to get Markkanen and Wendell Carter some more opportunities and just, touches in the offense. And I think Wendell Carter is going to thrive under Billy Donovan. A lot of people in the NBA world have been waiting for Carter to be unleashed in a sense, and this seems like it's finally going to be the year that he gets to, be able to just, play in an offense and be able to be used effectively. And I think if he does get the opportunity, I think he's going to perform at a very, I won't say like a very high level, but he's going to be able to perform at a starter caliber level, and I'm excited for it. Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm going with Colin Sexton. I've been a fan of Sexton's since his senior year in high school. He just has such a tremendous drive and just motor when it comes to playing this game. He's uber competitive. We all know what he did in college in that 3v5 game for the last couple of minutes of that game where he dropped an absurd amount of points while 2 men down. And he started to show signs of that in this past season. Over the last 10 games or so of the year, he was putting up close to 30 points a night. And it was crazy, and not a lot of people, I think, saw that, and I'm just ready for him to officially have a breakout season, and I think he's ready for it, but I don't know if the rest of the league is. Dallas Mavericks, I am going with the obvious choice of Luka Doncic. I've been on the Doncic bandwagon since I first heard about him, back when he was getting drafted. Loved him ever since, probably my favorite player in the league, so that's big bias in why I'm putting him on this list, but again, he's going to come really, really close to averaging a triple-double this year, I feel like. And now he finally has a better roster to help support him. It's still not even quite there yet in terms of the best fit for Luka Doncic, but either way, I think this is going to be an exciting team. And Luka is another guy who's primed for a MVP run. Denver Nuggets, I think with the exits of Millsap and Jeremy Grant and Mason Plumlee, I think we're going to see a lot more of Michael Porter Jr. this year, and while on the defensive end, that might not be the best thing for Coach Malone and the Nuggets, I think overall it's going to be a very fun experience to watch, and hopefully he can, get some better defensive IQ through the Malone system, so that way we can see him on the court more and more, because MPJ is a special player, he's a special scorer, and, I don't want to say we were robbed last year of seeing him more because he hadn't quite earned his minutes yet. But now, again, like I said, with the exits of a lot of key forwards for the Nuggets, we're going to see a whole lot more of him either way. And again, I'm just excited. Detroit Pistons, we have another rookie here. I'm going with Killian Hayes. I love Killian Hayes in the pre-draft process. I was a little bit shocked to see the Pistons take him at 8, but I was happy with the selection. Obviously, Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose and Jeremy Grant are now there and will probably be ahead of him in terms of touches and usage and all that stuff. But when Killian Hayes gets his chances, he's going to make a lot of mistakes, as every rookie will. But overall, I think he's going to make some great plays and be fun to watch. Golden State Warriors, I'm going with the obvious one here, Stephen Curry. We were robbed of it last year due to his wrist injury, but this will finally hopefully be the year that we see Steph Curry have to be the guy on his team. No Klay Thompson, a bunch of new acquisitions around him. It's going to be on Curry's shoulders to score, up to 30 a night and try to will this team into the playoffs. I think he's very much capable of doing it, but Curry's already one of the most exciting players in the league to watch with his shot selection and just ability to score. But if he can also do that while leading a team to a positive record and into the playoffs, I think it'll be a great story to watch unfold. Houston Rockets, I'm going with Christian Wood, and I just want to avoid all Harden and Westbrook rumors and propaganda for this one. I don't know if they're going to be traded or not. I personally don't think they will, but in the case they do, I'm going to go with Christian Wood. He is a big, he can guard almost every position. He can score from all 3 levels. I think he's going to thrive with Russell Westbrook and James Harden, passing him and just dumping off lobs to him. And again, he's going to be fun to watch. He's finally going to be on a team where fans will actually be watching him, unlike in Detroit. And yeah, I'm ready for it. Indiana Pacers, I'm going to go with Victor Oladipo, and this is 100% for his actions off the court and 0% for his actions on the court. And that's because I very much doubt that Oladipo will be finishing the season in Indiana. I know Miami is currently aimed to be a potential suitor for him, but I definitely think that the Pacers are going to try and get a trade done before Victor Oladipo has the ability to walk in free agency. So we'll have to wait and see with this one, but Victor Oladipo will definitely be a name to watch at the trade deadline. Los Angeles Clippers, I'm going with Ivica Zubac. He is a center primed for a big jump from, potential starter to, I think he's going to be a solidified starter caliber player this season. He is going to defensive end, he can score on the offensive end, he can rebound, he can play defense, like I said, and he's going to be an important, maybe even third piece to Kawhi and PG as the season unfolds. And I think he's going to catch a lot of people by surprise, and he's going to help the Clippers make another run towards the, potentially the finals. For the Lakers, I don't really know how I feel about this one, but I went with Talen Horton-Tucker. I think he might see some more playing time this year, and if he does, I'm really excited to see what exactly the Lakers have in him. He's a very exciting prospect, as he's only like 19, I'm pretty sure, and he's already been in the league for a couple, like 2 years now. One as the G League and one with the Lakers, but I'm just excited to see what exactly he brings to the table. I know he's a great slasher. He can score the ball well. He can finish at the rim very effectively. So maybe he somehow cracks into the rotation a little bit. And as the Lakers look for a repeat, and again, he's just a youthful guy who can help bring some of that youth to a Lakers roster that has been old in the past but is getting younger this year. For the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm going with Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he has the potential to take a big step forward this year. He has some work to do on defense, but offensively, he shoots threes really well. To be honest, Karl-Anthony Towns is the name I think of when it comes to the type of production Jaren Jackson Jr. can deliver on the offensive end. He's just a lanky guy, has great size, great length, can shoot threes, will shoot threes, isn't afraid to shoot threes, but can also attack the rim pretty well. And, just him and Jaw working together, they're going to be fun to watch. And, that's it. Miami Heat, I'm going Bam Adebayo. He just got the big contract. It'll be interesting to see if he can back it up with his play. Obviously, these past playoffs, he absolutely dominated the Pacers, dominated the Celtics, and didn't quite dominate the Lakers, unfortunately, but he was also severely injured, in my opinion, during that series. So we did not have Bam at his full 100%. And I think he could easily take the step into that top tier of centers in the NBA. He might already be there, to be honest, but again, it'll be interesting to see if he's able to back up this offseason's production. Milwaukee Bucks, I'm going with recently acquired Drew Holiday. They just made the big trade for him where they gave away a lot of their future, and I think Drew Holiday is going to be a very interesting player to watch as what he can exactly bring to the Bucks and how far he can take them in terms of progressing them as a team that wants a championship in the end. Minnesota Timberwolves, we have another rookie making the list, and that's Anthony Edwards. I didn't quite want to choose D'Angelo Russell or Karl-Anthony Towns, so I went with the next best option, and that is Anthony Edwards. I am slightly worried that he might not develop as good as he should in Minnesota, and I think he's going to need some development in order to become the player that people have envisioned of him being the number one overall pick. And so it does worry me a little bit, but either way, he is just a freak athlete, so he'll be fun to watch regardless for a couple games, at least for a couple plays, and I'm excited to see what exactly he can do during his first season. New Orleans Pelicans, we are bringing back last year's number one overall pick, Zion Williamson, and I'm just hoping he can stay healthy because I think the Pelicans are a very dangerous team when Zion is healthy and actually being played in the fourth quarter. Alvin Gentry. But the Pelicans are going to go as far as Zion can take them. I think they can make a playoff spot and just be in the race again as long as Zion can stay healthy. New York Knicks, I am ready to be entertained by RJ Barrett, who was snubbed from the all-rookie teams this past season somehow, and I'm excited to see what he can do when he finally has at least a little bit more talent around him. And although it's going to be a lot of younger talent and RJ Barrett is slowly becoming the veteran of the team even after just one season, don't sell your RJ Barrett stock. I think he still has a chance to be a very good player in this league, and at worst, just be a solid rotational player. And again, it's going to take a little bit of time for him to develop, but he's still a fun and entertaining player to watch. Oklahoma City Thunder, the only player really left to even choose on this team is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I really hope for the Thunder's sake that he does end up being a good player, because it would be a bit disheartening if he turned out to be not what he was living up to be, and the Thunder were now left with not a lot of talent and just a whole lot of picks, and it'd pretty much just be a fresh restart from there. But again, this is going to be SGA's team now. He's going to take a lot of the shots. He's going to have a lot of high usage. He could put up some numbers definitely, so I'm excited to see him, just put up some stats. Orlando Magic. I am very interested to see the continued recovery from Markelle Fultz from whatever happened his rookie season, and I think he is going to take another step forward in terms of his shooting. We saw some signs of it at the end of last season, but I think with a healthy offseason now, finally, for Markelle Fultz, he might be able to get back in the gym, correct his shot even more, and hopefully he can be somewhat of a threat from beyond the arc and get to the point where teams can't just go under the screens on him and he can actually be effective outside of the paint. Philadelphia 76ers is Ben Simmons. He has always had a soft spot in my heart, and for good reason. I think Ben Simmons is a very unique player in the terms of his playmaking and his size and just IQ. And the Sixers finally have some better fitting pieces around him, guys like Danny Green and Seth Curry, and I'm excited to see what an older Ben Simmons can do with another roster that's more built to fit his game. Phoenix Suns, we have another potential MVP dark horse candidate in Devin Booker, who's going to be fun to watch. Obviously, he has Chris Paul now at his side, but it's not going to be Chris Paul's team. I think this is still Devin Booker's team. He's going to go out there. He's going to score a lot of points. He has the team around him that they're going to be winning a good amount of games. And I don't know if it'll be enough to vault Devin Booker into the top 3 finalists for the MVP, but I think he'll definitely get some consideration based on how he plays. Portland Trailblazers, we have another player with high potential at entering the MVP discussion, which weirdly enough is would be the first time in his career that he's really in the discussion. But Damian Lillard, I've really thought about this before, but he's never really been discussed for the MVP. And I think he has a good chance this year because Portland has a good opportunity to win a lot of games with their new and improved roster, I should say, with guys like Covington, Derrick Jones Jr., and just other than that, they have their same core usual guys. And I think Dame could easily go out there and score 30 a night and maybe even propel the Trailblazers to a top 4 seed in the West. And I think that would be enough to maybe get him as a finalist for the MVP this year. Sacramento Kings, we have De'Aaron Fox. He's kind of becoming the lone bright spot on that team, and he just signed the extension, but I would have loved to see De'Aaron Fox on another team. Hopefully the Kings can build him around at some point, but for now, Fox is just a lightning fast point guard. Very fun to watch, has been quietly putting up numbers the past couple of seasons, and he's going to continue to do that. Hopefully he can get some recognition for it this year because Fox is a true talent. Moving on to the San Antonio Spurs, I have Derek White. He had a lot of great success in the NBA bubble, was putting up close to 20 points a night, and was just overall a great two-way player. I think he's going to be a great third fiddle to DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, and although the Spurs might not be making too much noise, I think White will play well enough that he's going to be able to earn a lot more money on a potential contending team in the coming seasons. Heading over to Toronto, or should I say Tampa Bay, I'm going to go with OG Anunoby. OG made some waves in the playoffs last season as a great two-way player, or at least a 3-and-D guy, and he's going to be a lockdown defender. Wouldn't be surprised if he makes an all-defensive team, and at the same time, he's going to take on a bigger role in the offense with Siakam, Fred VanVleet. Those guys will be ahead of him, but after that, I think it's going to be a lot of OG Anunoby as the third scorer or just, third guy who gets the ball. Utah Jazz, another potential, although slightly less potential compared to some other guys on this list, but another potential guy who might see some MVP shares is Donovan Mitchell. He's been progressing very well since being drafted, in the late lottery, and I think he might take another step forward this year. Although I think the Jazz might not be as good as they were last season, at least won't finish as well as they did last season, I think Donovan Mitchell could definitely take a step forward. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with Rudy Gobert and his contract situation. But one thing that will be for sure is that Donovan Mitchell is going to get buckets. And lastly, after all this time, if you're still here watching, I very much appreciate it. But we're going to end things with the Washington Wizards. And the player I'm most excited for is John Wall. Obviously, he's been out for almost 2 full seasons now with the many injuries from Achilles and all that stuff. But he's back. He's finally back. From the looks of things, from guys like Kevin Durant and some offseason runs, they're all saying that John Wall is back. I really hope he's back because he is a fun player to watch in terms of, high flying, high assists, and just all that good stuff that you love to see from a point guard. And obviously, he's not going to be as athletic as he once was, but John Wall is still a very good player and will be entertaining to watch. And with that being said, that'll be it for this video. Drop some comments down below on what players you guys are excited to see for this upcoming season. While you're down there, maybe hit the like button if you enjoyed this video or you enjoy this type of content. And other than that, most importantly, as always, thank you for watching.